Hello and welcome to the fourth Stu's Music Quiz. This week we've jumped right back to 1966. Of course, as I always say, we work in conjunction with Richard Shaw's 3 albums from a year, and this year it is 1966. So this goes back certainly way before I was born. The year of England's glory in the World Cup that we still keep going on about. And a year that some people suggest was the greatest year of music of all time. Well, the album certainly, or the pop album was certainly in its youth a little bit. So we'll see whether we agree with that. Okay, ready for it? Get your pens and papers ready. 50 questions, 2 hours of 25, a little break in the middle, and the answers posted on a separate video. So let's see how we can go. I still don't think anyone's cracked 30 yet. Maybe they will this week. Their knowledge of the 60s. Right, let's start with a trivia question. What was the biggest selling single of the year in the UK in 1966? Was it The Green Green Grass of Home by Tom Jones? Was it Yellow Submarine by the Beatles? Was it Strangers in the Night by Frank Sinatra? Was it Distant Drums by Jim Reeves? All 4 of those were number ones. Which, though, was the biggest selling single of the year in the UK? And if you're okay with the biggest selling single, what was the biggest selling album of 1966? I'm not going to give you a choice here. What was the biggest selling album of 1966? This is in the UK, of course. Okay, a third trivia question. Pet Sounds obviously was released in this year, but it was intended was a follow-up to it, which many believe would have been one of the greatest albums of all time. Well, what was its name? The name of the legendary unreleased Beach Boys album that was recorded, planned and mostly recorded that year as a successor to Pet Sounds. Okay, our fourth trivia question. Who changes his name in January this year to avoid confusion with a monkey? Who changes his name in January of this year, 1966, to avoid confusion with a monkey? And number 5, what was significant about the US Billboard chart of the 23rd of April this year? What was significant about the US Billboard chart of the 23rd of April this year? So the chart that was published on the 23rd of April, what was significant about it? My hint to you is it was the first time this had been true since the chart of 18th of January 1964, so over 2 years. The first time this had been the case. Wonder if you can get that one. Bit of a thinker, that one. Okay, on to our usual round of name that album using the kind of dingbat format. Okay, here's the first 3 for you. Again, standard thing, look at the pictures, work across and try and work out what album from 1966 this is. Hope you're enjoying the entertainment of the background noise there of my wife clearing up the kitchen. It's all right. I'm not being a 1950s husband, getting on with what I want to do while she's doing that. I did cook the meal, so it's all right. Okay. 2 more of these. Name that album from 1966. It's probably the time, of course, to mention that half the point of this, of course, is also to get you to think about albums that you might want to listen to get to know 1966 a bit better. All of these are kind of recommendations. We try and cover a variety as much as possible. And same can be true now of the lyrics round. We're going to go now on to 5 examples of lyrics. You've just got to finish the lyrics. You'll see the square brackets where they're meant to be. So, for example, number 11, every day's an endless stream of, and each town looks the same to me. Every day is an endless stream of, and each town looks the same to me. And a number of dots don't, in the gap there, the number of dashes don't correspond to the number of letters or anything. It's just a space in there. And all of these songs are pretty well-known songs from the period, okay, from the year. On to number 12. I was born with a in my mouth. I was born with a in my mouth. Number 13. When you were a young boy, did you have a that always followed you around? When you were a young boy, did you have a that always followed you around? Number 14. If she's wrong, he can't see it. She can do no wrong. Turn his back on. If she's wrong, he can't see it. She can do no wrong. Turn his back on. Now, on that one, if you just get the next few words, I'll let you off. But obviously, it'd be great if you could get the whole rest of the line. And finally, for the lyrics here, number 15, or beautifully poetic this. Loneliness is the cloak you wear. A deep shade of blue is always there. Loneliness is the cloak you wear. A deep shade of blue is always there. And you need to give me the next line. All 5 of those huge songs from 1966 by very well-known artists. See how well you can do with those. And we will move on to some connections rounds here. Now, of course, the idea here is to gain the connections between the pictures here. Now, I'm not going to make you recognise them. Here we have the Hollies, we have Buffalo Springfield, and we have the Byrds. What is the connection between these 3 who all released major albums in this year? A little bit tougher, this one. So listen out, I might give you a little bit of a clue on this one. Okay, what have we got here? We've got the Byrds again on the left there, right next to Jimi Hendrix. We have up in the top right corner, that is the group Love. And beneath them is the Surfaris. The Surfaris, best known for Wipeout and things such as that. So we have the Byrds, Jimi Hendrix, Love, and the Surfaris. Right, Jimi Hendrix under focus. All 4 of these did something in 1966, did the same thing in 1966, and Hendrix is the one to focus on there for most of you. That's what I'll go for. It's very specific. Okay, and then disconnections here. Right, so strange group here. We have Slade on the left-hand side there. We have the Bay City Rollers up the top. We have the Monkees on the right. And who's that down the bottom? Recognise them? What's the connection between these 4? Okay. And to bring an end to the first half of the quiz today, here's the picture round. As always, 7 pictures here for you. You just literally need to name these 7 people or collections of people. Name these 7 collections of people. Now lead us into the end of the first half. I'll leave you a little time to have a look at those pictures and try and spot them. Okay. So welcome back for the second round. I hope you've got your beers, your snacks, whatever floats your boat here. I'm hoping this is a little bit of entertainment while you're locked down and searching for things to do. A journey back into 60s. Well, we're now going to do the album covers round. I have to say it was a little bit restrictive what I could choose here, because the tendency on album covers is just to have a picture of the artist back in 66, but I managed to get a few here. What you got to do with these is look at the cover with any indication of who they are or the name of the any words that indicate the name of the album or the name of the artist removed. You got to look at it and name, please, for me, the artist, but also the album itself. So let's start with number 26. One I expect quite a few of you, if you're listening to 66 stuff this week, will give a go. Cracking cover, that. But what is the name of the album? What's the name of the group? Number 27. Name of the album, name of the group. Very good album too. Number 28. Name of the album, name of the group. Number 29. Well, if you can't get the name of the group, I can't help you from that, but a very famous album cover. What was the name of the US only album? What was the name of the US only album? Of course, that cover was withdrawn famously. I think you can see why. I always like on that picture, I always like Ringo's face. He really looks like he has no idea why he's here at all. And finally, number 30. We have got some people on there, but what's the name of the group? What's the name of the album? So, on to what was Name That Tune this week. It's Name That Riff. So, very fitting the 60s. I'm going to give you 5 different riffs played inexpertly by me on an electric keyboard. And all you have to do is name the song that riff comes from. So, let's get going with number 31, and I apologise in advance for any errors. I will do my best to make it understandable. Here we go, 31. Hopefully the repeated playing and that made up for the mistake second time round. Okay, let's have a go at number 32 again. Name that riff. They are. That was a bit easier, that one. Okay. Number 33. There you go, even a child could play that one. Okay, that was number 33. Number 34 now. Name this riff. Okay, all going very well so far. Number 35. Here we go. 5 riffs. Just name those songs. What I have for you here is a collection of very well-known songs that were big hits, but maybe the artist is slightly less well known. So you've got to remember who released this song in 1966. Number 36, The Pied Piper. Sure, you can be singing it to yourself in your head now, that song. But who was it that sang it? What about Winchester Cathedral? That was a #1 hit, I believe. If it wasn't, it was certainly up in I think the top 30 or 40 of the biggest selling songs of the year. Winchester Cathedral. But who was it by? Spanish Flea, one of Homer Simpson's favourite songs. Spanish Flea, released in '66. Who was it by? I'll let you off if you just know the headline artist rather than just the backing group on that one. 39, Guantanamera, the song that inspired 1,000 terrorist chants. But Quagida Guantanamera, who sang it in '66? And number 40, the terrific Summer in the City. Who sang Summer in the City? Okay, now next round. I like to do a covers round, but as we're going so far back here, rather than look at covers in '66, what I'm looking for now is I'm going to give you a number of covers that's pretty well known. Some are, most of them are big hits. Some are just known very well. All I want you to do is name the original artist. So I'm giving you the song. I'm giving you the group that covered it later, or the artist that covered it later. All I want is who sang it in '66. I know it says original artist. There may be your case when there was an earlier version, but I'm looking for the 1966 version I think in all cases it's the best known version of it. So 41, David Bowie's wonderful cover of Wild is the Wind. The original was in 66. Who was it by? At 42, Nielsen's Everybody's Talking, which I believe was a big part of the film Midnight Cowboy, a very sad film, Midnight Cowboy. The original came from the artist who wrote it in 66. It's interesting how Nielsen's two biggest hits, despite the fact he was a great songwriter, two biggest hits were covers, Everybody's Talking and Without You. Anyway, who was the original artist in 66 on a self-titled fantastic album? It's Phil. Phil hit the top in 88, I believe, with A Groovy Kind of Love. But the original hit the top 10 in 66. Who recorded the original? And in 44, it's Phil again. He loves his 66, doesn't he? You Can't Hurry Love. Okay, You Can't Hurry Love. Now, I know it's been a load of people cover that, and this may not be the original artists on this, but it is most certainly the most famous version, was in 1966, of You Can't Hurry Love. Who covered it in 60? Who originally sang it in 66? And 45. 45 here. Let's am I cheating a bit with this? No, I don't think I am. I think this song is probably best known to a generation because of its appearance in the brilliant film The Commitments, Mustang Sally. We all remember Andrew, whatever his name is, singing it and belting it out. But who made it famous in 66? Okay, so to bring us to an end, I've got a few more trivia questions and a few odd one outs that we can work out. Let's see where we go with this. First of all, trivia one here. On May the 17th, so much happened in 66. I haven't even included the John Lennon Judas incident. Sorry, the John Lennon Judas, because it is the John Lennon Jesus incident. And that was in 66 too. So much going on in 66. But on May the 17th was that really famous incident where Bob Dylan played the second half of his show with an electric band and was called Judas. Where was the show? Where was the show? '47. Another thing. I know there's a lot of Beatles in here, but I don't make any apologies for that. I love the Beatles, as we know. On the August the 29th, they played their last ever concert, and I thought of asking you where, but I decided not to. It was at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. What was the last song, though, that they ever played? Live, of course, until the famous rooftop concert. What was the last song they ever played? Was it Rock and Roll Music? Was it Yesterday? Was it Long Tall Sally? Was it Paperback Writer? All four of those were performed in that concert. What was the last one they ever played? What did they go out with? Okay, 48. Who is the odd one out of these four? We've got the Byrds again. We have up in the top right-hand corner, we have Them. Underneath that, we've got Stevie Wonder. And just to his left, we've got Cher. Which one of those is the odd one out? I'm going to help you. Three of them recorded Bob Dylan covers in this year. One of them did not. Three of them recorded and released Bob Dylan covers this year. One of them did not. Which one did not? The Byrds, Them, Stevie Wonder, or Cher? Okay, another odd one out. Here we have Harry Nilsson. We have Peter Williams. We have Stephen Stills. And we have Peter Talk. But I'm not going to tell you why one of them's the odd one out. See if you can work out why and who. Nilsson, Stephen Stills, the great songwriter Peter Williams, and Peter Talk. So Paul Williams. And finally, odd one out. Yes, another Beatles one. The Beatles had 3 number ones in 1966. Only one of them wasn't a double A side. Which one of these was a number one on its own? Was it Eleanor Rigby? Was it Paperback Writer? Was it Yellow Submarine? Or was it Day Tripper? Which of those was not a double A side? All got to number one, but which was not a double A side? Okay, I hope you enjoyed that, found it a challenge, but were able to answer some things. I'm going to post the answers later on today. This is Sunday I'm speaking now. So if you're looking at it past Sunday afternoon, evening, then you'll probably find that it is they're already there. Remember, please, the key thing for me, the reason I am doing this, the reason I'm putting these together and hopefully entertaining you with them, is because I'm trying to raise money for Young Minds UK, a cause which, as I often say on these, I'm very, very passionately attached to. I've worked with teenagers for most of my life, very closely. I've seen the damage and difficulties that mental health issues can have upon them. And they really don't know how to deal with it and how to cope with it. And there's some great dangers as to what can happen if they don't get help. Young Minds are a wonderful charity that do things. So please, just have a think. If you were doing this in the pub and it was an entry fee or whatever, what would you put in? And please just donate that or whatever you feel you can manage. Okay, there's my page there. It'd be lovely to get some more. We're over £100. My initial target's 1,000. So if you can keep giving money, that would be great. And follow me on Twitter. My handle's @StuartHoskin. That's where you'll find out more about this. Please do subscribe as well to this Twitter channel so you can find out when these are posted, and give me lots of lovely support, which will make me feel very happy and make me feel that all this is worthwhile. And any feedback, please, either directly on Twitter or direct message on Twitter. Just let me know if you think there's anything that's particularly good or that you think I could work on, improve, rounds you don't particularly like, or if you want to tell me about the difficulty level. However, that would be great. And of course, if you can post any nice comments as well on YouTube or like on YouTube, that will be great as well. Please donate. Thank you for taking part. And there'll be another quiz up next Sunday.